Hey there guys and gals, Eugene from Review Outdoor Gear, and I have a little stove to review for you today. I will say right away, this was sent to me by a company for free to review and check it out, and you know, when that happens, which is actually the first time this has happened, I'm going to be very, very unbiased, try to be unbiased, and just really look at it from, you know, with a clear mind and see if it's a good deal. This is not a very well-known company. This is DPower. It's a DPower Stove is what it's called. It's made by a company in China, Beijing, and you know, it's $16.99 on Amazon. You can check it out. There's a link below for that. And from looking at it, I really like it actually so far. And you know, I'll try to show you what I think here in this review. So check it out. Here's a little box that it comes in. It has a little manual in there and kind of talks about some things in here, but that's not that important. You can look at that, throw that away. Comes in a little pouch here. I like the pouch. I always like a pouch with everything I get because, you know, if you don't need it, you don't have to use it. But you never have too many pouches. You can actually put a nice cooking system in here, and I'll show you how I've done that. But here's the stove itself. Very small, very compact. Now guys, keep in mind, this thing is $16.99, so 17 bucks with shipping, Amazon Prime. So here it is. Weighs only 4.7 ounces, very light, or 4.8 ounces. It's constructed very well actually. It's steel all throughout. There's, well, the main frame is steel. There's some aluminum looks like here. Nice brass fittings for all the gas connections. Nice knob here, turns very smoothly and very nicely controllable, not loose, very tight. Nice rubber gaskets here and an O-ring in there. Nice touch with the colors. So also has this igniter here, which this igniter, it says that it'll last about 1 million to 1.2 million strikes. I mean, that's going to be enough. That'll last forever. As long as the frame holds up, I think, and all the connections here hold up from all the bending, it should be good. I like the wire mesh tube here. That's nice. Nice brass fittings, like I said. So, you know, in terms of durability and all that, so it's very nice to set up, really quickly to set up, and you know, it can hold about 6 kilograms, which is about 12 or 13.2 pounds of weight. That's a lot. I mean, think about that's, you know, that's 6 liters of water. That's a lot of, that's a big container that you can stick on here, and it should hold up really well to that. I like the wide base, low profile in terms of, you know, it's not gonna be too high and be unstable, but I'll show you how all that works. And in this review, I'll actually go ahead and light it up and set it up, and we'll make some tea, we'll cook some secret ingredients. Now, in terms of the connection here, this thing will take any of these Isobutane fuel canisters, like this one. There's also, you know, the good old jet boil, but I've just recently been switching to the GigaPower, which is also nice. But anyway, that's what fits onto here, so I'll go ahead and put that on here. So let's go ahead and set it up and get some cooking. Before I set it up, guys, real quick, I just want to show you a little cooking system you can put together that's really nice. So, you know, if you get one of these GSI or MSR steel cups, if you use that as your pot and cup, you know, there we go. You fold up the stove, and I'll tell you the weight of this as well, so you can compare. Fold up the stove, put it in there, just like that. You know, the smallest fuel canister on top. The provided little stuff sack. Stick it in there. And also, I like to have a lid, and I just made this lid out of a pickle jar, and I put a little screw through it, or a little bolt here. Put that in there. Check that out. And it doesn't. That little cooking system right there has your fuel, your stove, and your pot and lid. And this little setup here weighs 1 pound and 0.2 ounces. Basically 1 pound. You know, if I was going to compare it the same exact kind of setup to a jet boil, I also have a jet boil, which is a nice stove. But the price is, you know, that's 100 bucks. This setup here is only about maybe 25, 30 bucks, depending on the price of your cup basically, and the fuel. But the fuel, you need the fuel separately for everything anyway. But the jet boil weighs about 1 pound and 5 ounces. You know, so it's heavier. And that jet boil has a bigger cup, of course, and but it still has the fuel and the stove in there, so it's lighter, and you know, it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper, low price. So there we go. Let's set it up now, and we'll fire it up and do a little boil test and all that good stuff. So this is how quickly it is to set up. How quick it is to set up, I should say. Here we go. That goes there. Screw on the little container, gas canister, and spread out the feet. We're kind of on a rock here. You just got to make sure you find a flat spot. Now, in terms of the uses for the stove, you know, you can use it for backpacking. You can use it for many different things. You can use it, you know, in your backyard. You can make some, you know, popcorn or whatever you want to do. You can take it on a road trip if you need to cook some tea or make some soup, you know, on at a rest area, rest stop. You can use it if you're working, maybe construction, something like that. If you're out there, you know, where there's no services, no electricity, and you have lunch that you need to warm up, this is a great little stove to take with you. And very quick to set up, very efficient. So turn that up. There we go. You can't really see the flame, fortunately, in this bright light. But maybe there'll be some inserted footage here of kind of the flame in the dark, so you can see what the flame looks like. Hey guys, we're in a dark location. Anyway, here's a stove. Here's what the flame looks like. I'm going to turn it down to pretty much low, very low. I'm not sure, you know, if you're maybe frying something, you could have it at that. But then I'll turn it up, and you can see how high it goes. Get it full throttle. So there it is, guys. Look at that flame. So it's pretty good. When you turn it up, full throttle like that, it works pretty well. So there you have it. That's the flame test for you to see one more time in the dark. And off we go. Back to the originally scheduled program. Now, very nice adjustment on here. I was actually very surprised by how fine-tuned this is, and how easy it is to tune the flame. And that's full throttle there. And this is just low. Very nice. It's actually a little bit easier to adjust than the jet boil. Jet boil has a very fine adjustment, and it's really easy to turn it off accidentally. But I do like that. So there we go. You know, let's do a little boil test. So I have 2 cups of water in here. I have a timer. We're going to get this going and see how long it takes. Alright, timer on and stove is on. So while it's boiling here, just do a couple things. You know, cool thing here is you can switch out the canister if you have a couple canisters and it runs out. You can always switch it out without, you know, taking whatever you're cooking off the stove. You can take it off, put a new one on. It's good to go. I'm also going to check for gas leaks here. I have a lighter. I'm just going to run it along here, see if there's any gas leaks along this tube, especially along the connections here. Nope. It's very good. I don't see any leaks, and I actually checked at home as well. It was pretty well. And the other thing I want to notice is, you know, with these stoves, what's inherent to them is there's no heat sink, of course, on the pot, so there's a lot of heat loss kind of on the sides, but it's not a big deal. You know, not as efficient as a very specially designed stove, but again, the price is the key here. And yeah, so you can kind of see some heat waves, losing a little bit of heat. But so far so good, so we'll see where we get here. Okay guys, it's been about 12 minutes. I'm going to stop it now, 12 and a half. But here's the problem. I'm thinking this thing really needs a windscreen, okay? So if you look in there, there's wind blowing, the bubbles stop. As soon as if I put my hands there, Look at that, it starts to boil pretty well. Rolling boil. I take my hands away and I blow, and you can see how it gets cold right away and there's no bubbles. So that's why it's taken quite a long time. We're going to do this again with a windscreen and see if we can improve the time. Okay guys, we have a windscreen built here. We have timer ready to go again. And we're going to see what happens. So hopefully it'll be a little bit quicker now. And a little bit less wind now. We'll see what happens, okay? I like that sound. Alright guys, we're at 5 minutes and 10 seconds. And we have a pretty good boil there. It's not quite boiling over, but I'd say that's boiling, so it's a lot better with a windscreen, as predicted. So, cut the time in half. So it's about, I don't know, somewhere about 5.5 minutes. The better your windscreen, the quicker it'll be. I think you could cut off another maybe half minute or a minute if you had one of those metal windscreens or aluminum foil right around it. That's a big deal. A lot of the heat gets bounced off if you don't have one of those. So there we go. The boil is a lot quicker. I'm going to turn it off now with the windscreen. So, overall, not bad. I like the stove for the price. And I think I'd also add in a price to buy a windscreen. I'd get a nice windscreen to go along with this thing, just to make that fuel last a lot longer. And that way, you'll be a lot more efficient out there. If you're backpacking, especially, you don't want to use up a lot of fuel. Make sure you bring a windscreen, or you can build one out of rocks like this. So. Nice stove. Let's cook some secret ingredients. So let's cook some mushrooms up. I got a little skillet here. Put some oil on there. Get this thing fired up. So see if this thing's good for cooking meals. Get these guys cut up. Throw them on here. Guys, the secret ingredient, morel mushrooms. Yeah, some oil. Get them all cooked up on here, and they're just picked out there in the woods just now. Let that sear a little bit. I'll put some salt on it. Oh yeah. So hey, stove works for that too. Check that out. You can cook popcorn. You can do whatever you want in terms of, I don't know what things you cook. You fry some pancakes, mushrooms, any of that. So again, if you're interested in the stove, you're thinking about buying it, just click the link below, and we'll cook these mushrooms up, and you'll be enjoying them hopefully here in a minute. Have fun out there in the outdoors and be safe, and praise the Lord for everything He's provided us with out there. Alright guys, check that out. Oh yeah, turn that off now. Cooked up. Nice and right. Try that out. Oh yeah. Morel mushrooms. That's where it's at. So go out there, get the stove, pick some shrooms, and enjoy life.
So, bro, I think somebody lost their load of chocolate-covered almonds here.
Yeah.